Welcome, everybody, to Qué Golazo, a very special episode ahead of the Champions League debut. Of course, we're going to focus on Liverpool today, and we have a great guest, my friend, my colleague, Luis Garcia, a Liverpool legend, and of course, a tremendous career before him. We're going to talk about the Champions League, Liverpool's objectives, expectations, and so much more. Qué Golazo begins right now. Hey, everybody, welcome to Qué Golazo, and my goodness, it's an absolute pleasure to welcome for the first time, this podcast is nearly a year old, and it took a new producer to get him on the show because he's my friend and he's been flaking on me, pero Lucho Garcia, an absolute pleasure. Luis, ¿cómo estás, compadre? How are you?
Very good. Good to be on board. Finally, I know that you've been throwing me stone, listen, I want you here. And I'm not a big fan. I'm not a big fan on being on a podcast, but I think Qué Golazo is one of those that you have to be in. And that's why I'm here. So thanks for having me.
See, this is why I love Lucho Garcia. I was like an annoying ex-girlfriend, just annoying him, just saying, Lucho, please, please, please. But Luis Garcia, an absolute pleasure. He's not only good in Spanish, he's fantastic English coverage as well. And for CBS Sports, part of the Champions League coverage. But Luis Garcia, of course, spent 3 magical seasons at Liverpool where he won the Champions League, a runner-up in the Champions League, the FA Cup, the Community Shield, so much. So we're going to talk a lot about that. And, of course, another club of his, Atletico Madrid, because they're also in the same group in Group B. But Luis Garcia, before we get started on all that, I wanted to ask you first, Lucho, just your thoughts on Liverpool right now. How are you feeling about Jurgen Klopp's side?
Well, actually, Luis, it was going to be like a weird year, you know, after last one that it was even worse because of the injury, because of the situation of the pandemic. And now this one started actually very, very good. I see the team very focused, very concentrated. We recover some of the most important players with Van Dijk, of course, Fabinho playing in the middle, that you know there is a massive player for the Reds, because he's a little bit the one who makes the balance in the center of the pitch. And of course, we can see that the players up front, they start scoring goals. A fantastic game at the weekend, and they are looking forward, I'm sure, for the game against AC Milan that we are going to see on Wednesday. But it's not going to be easy. You've seen how Premier League teams are getting stronger with Man United, Chelsea, City. They look very, very difficult teams. And, of course, they are going to be contender for every single trophy in Europe. But I'm not going to put it on the side Liverpool, because this is exactly the same team that they won the Champions League, that they won the Premier League, and they haven't been many changes if you see the 11 started. So why not? Why not? We have to continue dreaming that they can manage and arrive late in every single competition.
Absolutely. And obviously they are healthy now. Virgil van Dijk is back. But of course, we did see that terrible injury to Harvey Elliott. Yeah. Just your thoughts on Harvey Elliott and his absence.
It was scary. As soon as I saw it, I was watching it with the family, and as soon as I saw, I knew that it was a difficult and bad injury, because you could see the first image. After we stopped watching the footage of the image, I think they do it very well on TV. They don't put what is happening with the kid, and it's a pity, because definitely he was making a big impression. You can see that he was playing the first 3 games for Jurgen Klopp, and that's not easy when you got Thiago, you got Curtis, players who Miller, Henderson, they've been very, very important in the past 3-4 years. And, well, he managed to get involved in the 11 starter with only 18 years old. So it's a pity. Hopefully he can, and we send him our best wishes, speed recovery, and we can see him very soon on the field again.
Yeah, he's very young, so plenty of room to, get stronger, get better. And I'm sure, as you, Luis, as well, sure that he will come back much, much stronger. Here's just to turn it a little bit here, Lucho, here's a fun question for you. You mentioned the Liverpool team, how they haven't really changed that much. It's really just been about learning from each other and getting healthier. When you look at this squad, you know it very well. Is there anybody in this team, Lucho, that you would have liked to play with?
Yeah, of course, all of them. I would love, if you see the quality of every single play. I mean, having Robo or Arnold on the wide areas with those fantastic crosses. I used to love a cross, go with the header, get in the near post to try to get the advantage of the defenders. having, I don't know, Firmino, for example, I just love to watch him, the tempo when he's on the ball, that quality technique, doing these flicks and back heels, and these kind of players that I used to love to have them on the field. So, of course, I mean, there are so many. Van Dijk with those switch of play. I used to be a player who liked those diagonals getting into the box. So having a player like him who can make a switch of play with 70 meters, I think all of them, they got so much quality on the field. And I'm not talking about the big guns up front with Mane, with Salah. I mean, it's just amazing, all the players they got. So, yeah, just pick one, and I would love to play with him in a five-a-side one Sunday night afternoon.
Oh, I would love to see that. That would be amazing. I thought you would have said Trent Alexander-Arnold or Andy Robertson. You would have loved to get on the end of those crosses, I tell you.
Definitely.
All right, let's talk about the Champions League here. Liverpool, they're in a very difficult group. I'm looking overall, and you could give an argument to many groups of death, but Group B, Liverpool, Atletico Madrid, your former club as well, Porto as well. This is a very, very good AC Milan, of course. This is a very good group, a very tough group. How do you see it? What are you focusing on specifically with Group B?
Well, one of the worst one or the best ones. It depends how you see it.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, depends how you see it, but definitely it's one of the toughest ones. And when I saw the draw and I saw getting with the AC Milan that is getting stronger, it's one of those teams that that is coming back to where they were back in the 90s, in the 2000s, where they have an amazing group of players, squads, and they were winning so many trophies. And there, Porto, there is a team that they did so well. We were talking about them and analyzing them last year in Champions League. They did so well. And well, of course, Atletico de Madrid, that for me is one of the contenders. This is one of the teams that have kept the spine of the team, the base. They've been adding more players. Now they got Griezmann back again. So you can see that they are all of them difficult. But the most important for me is how Jürgen is going to make their rotation, how is going to be moving players from places, how they're going to give rest to some of the players. It's going to be a very long season, so many games that most of the players are international. So they're going to be on the international break, traveling, playing, and this is going to be key to give them rest. And of course, the first game, I think it's key to play at Anfield the first game, get those 3 points and start wait for the second one against Porto, I think it is, and see how it goes. But the most important is to start well the competition with confidence. And against AC Milan, it's not going to be easy.
Well, let's talk about that first game that you know very well. We'll get to that in a second, but the only times Liverpool and AC Milan have faced each other is in finals, which is like obviously something that you know very well. So before we talk about that, I wanted to ask you, first of all, about just seeing AC Milan in this group, just give you those memories back from Istanbul.
Yeah, of course, straight away. And I thought about the final. When is it going to be the final again? And I saw the AC Milan getting into the group stage, and I thought, oh my God, do you remember that one? Do you remember this and that? I was talking with a friend, and of course, it's a special game for all the Liverpool supporters, AC Milan supporters, of course, and for the players who were involved in 2005 and 2007. And of course, I'm gonna be one of those lucky ones who I can travel. I'll watch it live. So I'm going to be there at Anfield on Wednesday, enjoying that game. And, well, I can't wait.
Oh, that's going to be fantastic. Keep your phone handy, Lucho. Maybe I'll ask you to just video it for me. It's going to be quite the atmosphere. Liverpool, AC Milan to kick things off. I wanted to ask you this because obviously, you know Liverpool so well, AC Milan, etc. They're both in many ways teams that are heading sort of the right way. AC Milan looking pretty good in Serie A. Zlatan Ibrahimovic, a younger squad, dynamic. Liverpool on the other side. How much have you seen them, like if you could think of them back from 2005 to now, what would you say? How far have they come since then?
I think it was different moments for both of them. I think for 2005-07, going ahead, AC Milan start, well, with the problems that the Serie A had economically. All the teams suffer so much, so they struggle to bring big players. They, for a certain times, we didn't see AC Milan, Juventus, the Fiorentinas, the Inters, those amazing teams. We didn't see them as often in Champions League finals. And to be honest, it's something that we miss. At least the ones we grew up watching, that AC Milan from Saki, I think is something very special. And in the other side, we got Liverpool that after 2007 struggled for a few years and then start growing and growing, racing as a ave phoenix and doing so well. And finally, they start arriving the trophies. We saw them getting a domestic trophy, then the Champions League, then the Premier League, something very important, arriving to Champions League final in 3 years in a row. Something that for the history of this club, it was very important. And now I think they are, of course, I see Liverpool a little bit stronger because of the last 3-4 years. But AC Milan has been growing. It's been on a moment of transition with Ibra. You know that it's always special. He brings something on the table that is that you never expect. And like you well mentioned, they are a young team. They are hungry for trophies. They did so well last year, and this year they are going for it.
Yeah, they are going for it. I wanted to ask you another fun question here. AC Milan, as we're talking, you mentioned Zlatan Ibrahimovic. Behind him, Olivier Giroud. Rafael Leao is a player. He's so good. Brahim Diaz as well. Is there anybody in this AC Milan team that you think Liverpool could benefit, that could maybe, strengthen Liverpool? Is there anybody in that AC Milan team that you would like to see, with the Reds?
Yeah, definitely. For example, a player that I like a lot is Kessie in the middle of the park. He's a player who can give so many things. He's strong, he's fast, he's good with the ball. When he's on the field, AC Milan is also well balanced. He knows how to move. He arrived in second line. But if I was a Liverpool owner, let's call it this way, or CEO, or sporting director, call it that some way, always Ibra, because he's a plan B. You know that with Liverpool, it's very difficult to bring a player who is going to start because the players that you got, they are so much talented and they got so many good things. But for me, the most important is that he can bring something different. A game that is very tight, it's very cagey. You bring him on the front and you know that he's going to drop balls, he's going to win balls in the air, he's going to make something different, he's going to win you the games. And that's something that for Liverpool will be fantastic because most of the games that they play, the teams, they go back, they got very compact, and it's very difficult to break those lines. And they tried for minutes and minutes. We've seen them last year. And at the end, you need those special players, and he brings something different.
Yeah, I'm with you on Kessie, by the way. But Ibrahimovic, interesting one there, Luis Garcia, because Manchester United, it didn't work as well. I think that maybe you're right. Maybe Jurgen Klopp can get something even more out of Zlatan.
He's a special player. I mean, it's true that you cannot. He's 39. We have to remember that as well. And you cannot bring him and start playing every single game. You cannot bring him in games where you have to run a lot. You know that the pressure and the runs from Liverpool front three is a lot because they like to make a high pressure, and you have to be very well physically, fitness-wise talking. And at the end, if you bring a player who maybe it's in the 35, 36, 37, where maybe that capacity is not the best thing that they go. Maybe you have to bring them in special moments. That's why I think that he will be a key for. Like I remember when Peter Crouch arrived to Liverpool when we were playing in 2006. He used to play a lot, but in certain moments it was key. Dropping balls, winning the ball, flicking. We scored so many goals, flicking the ball back and making the run. So for our players like Mane from Salah, they like to go behind a good striker. It will be fantastic to have a player like him.
Absolutely. Peter Crouch, such a good comparison there. All he needed to do was just lift his neck and he would just win that header.
Exactly.
Unbelievable. All right. So let's talk a little bit, just the last question in terms of this matchup on Wednesday, Liverpool against AC Milan. Is there one particular matchup in the game that you're looking forward to? You mentioned Kessie so good, of course, that midfield battle, right, with Fabinho, Thiago Alcantara. Exactly. That's interesting. Is there anywhere else that you like?
Yeah, of course. We are talking about Ibra Van Dijk can be a big one. So I'm looking forward to it. There is another one with Theo Hernandez on the left side. He's a player who flies on the left wing. That battle between him and Alexander-Arnold, who is going to defend who, because both likes to go forward. It could be a fantastic battle as well. But like you well mentioned, the middle of the park is going to be key for Liverpool to win against those in the middle with Kessie. That is the one who makes the good work.
It's going to be quite the atmosphere. The final question here, Luis Garcia. It might be a simple question, maybe not. But how far can Liverpool go this season? I'm including the Premier League here because when I watch them just against Leeds United this time around. Granted, it was Leeds not doing very well. They lost a man as well, but Liverpool have now mixed the heavy metal of Jurgen Klopp and classical music balance. They're more calm now, I feel, when they don't have the ball. How far can Liverpool go this season, Luis?
Again, we cross our fingers for no more many injuries, for to keep all the players, at least the most important ones. Young players like Neko, like Curtis, that they can add a lot during those rotations that we've been talking. I think they can go all the way at the end. If of course they are going to face in the last stage of Champions League, on the last game of Premier League, you're going to have to face against those Chelsea, cities, Barcelona's, Real Madrid's, all these kind of teams that they're always going to be fighting to win the Champions League. But I think that Liverpool has got the enough quality and talent on the squad to arrive. The most important, again, no injuries and good rotations to arrive to March, April with a team in fresh conditions to play every single game.
Fantastic stuff. Luis Garcia, Champions League winner, Champions League finalist twice, FA Cup winner, Liverpool legend, Atletico Madrid, Barcelona, of course. Luis Garcia, Lucho, a colleague, a friend. You can watch him on CBS Sports HQ. And of course, make sure that you follow him on social media. Luis Garcia, thank you so much, my friend.
Thank you very much, Luis. See you soon. And of course, I'll see you on CBS to analyze a little bit of the Champions League this year. So see you soon, mate.
Absolutely. We'll be right there. Hey, don't forget to follow us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, youtube.com/Qué Golazo, and of course, CBS Sports and your CBS Sports app. We will see you next time. Enjoy the return of the Champions League.